Welcome to Shocking Clinic Stories Behind Closed Hospital Doors. I bring you the first episode titled Sanctuary of Shadows. When healing turns to seduction, please enjoy. Hospitals are supposed to be sanctuaries, places where lives are saved, where healing begins, where truth is clear and empathy is certain. But behind the cold fluorescent lights and polished linoleum floors of Riverside Medical Center, something darker waited. On that night, when the glass doors slid open and Vera Donovan walked in, tall, red-haired, blue-green eyes burning with secrets, the hospital became less a place of healing and more a stage for seduction, deception, and ruin. Few knew it yet, but the moment her heels clicked against the tile, another life teetered at the edge of destruction. The night had bled into morning at Riverside Medical Center, the kind of sprawling hospital whose walls seemed to hum with secrets of their own. The smell of antiseptic hung heavy, sharp enough to sting the nose, while the distant wail of an ambulance siren broke the monotony of midnight calm. Nurses in pale blue scrubs bustled through the wards with practiced efficiency, their shoes squeaking against the polished floors. The waiting area was half filled with patients slumped in plastic chairs, a silent army of the weary and the unwell. And then Vera Donovan entered. She was tall, nearly 6 feet, with the elegance of a runway model and the predatory grace of a lioness. Her red hair cascaded in fiery waves, each strand catching the cold light above and making her seem almost unreal, like a figure pulled from some feverish dream. Her skin was porcelain smooth, her lips curved in a faint smile that promised warmth and danger in equal measure. But it was her eyes, those hypnotic blue-green eyes, that unsettled the most. They flickered between shades of ocean calm and stormy menace, never quite letting go once they locked onto you. She moved with deliberate slowness, her heels clicking against the linoleum floor, each step echoing like the countdown of a clock. Men glanced up instinctively, security guards, tired patients, even the janitor leaning on his mop. Their gazes lingered on her, unbidden, as if their wills were momentarily stripped away. She thrived on it. This was her power, her drug. "Miss Donovan?" A nurse called from behind the counter, her tone clipped, professional, but tinged with something else, an edge of unease she couldn't quite name. Vera's smile deepened. "That's me," she purred, her voice low, velvet, and deliberate. The nurse handed her a clipboard, avoiding her eyes, and gestured down the hallway. "Exam room 3. Dr. Jones is waiting for you. Dr. Daniel Jones." The name alone had intrigued Vera when she first saw it printed neatly on her appointment card. She had heard whispers in the community of his intellect, his composure, his almost unsettling ability to see through people as if their secrets were written on their skin. That intrigued her. Most men folded easily, crumbling under the weight of her gaze and the curve of her lips. But men like Jones, the strong ones, the unyielding ones, they were the most satisfying to conquer. Her heels carried her down the corridor, at the end of which the door marked Exam Room 3 stood slightly ajar. She pushed it open. Inside, the air was colder, almost clinical in its stillness. And there he was. Dr. Daniel Jones stood behind his desk, reviewing a chart. He turned as she entered, and for the first time in a long time, Vera felt a flicker of something foreign, hesitation. He was tall, well over 6 feet, his shoulders broad beneath the navy blue of his shirt and tie. His dark hair was neatly trimmed, his strong jaw dusted with the faintest shadow of stubble. But it was his eyes that caught her, the piercing glacier blue stare that seemed to strip her down to her core. He looked at her not with desire, not with the fumbling curiosity she was used to, but with an unsettling calm, as though he had already read the story of her life before she'd spoken a word. "Miss Donovan," he said, his voice steady, deep, and warm but edged with authority. "Please have a seat." His tone didn't falter when he looked at her. That alone irritated her. She tilted her head, letting her red hair spill dramatically over one shoulder as she slid into the chair, crossing her legs with the kind of languid grace that demanded attention. "I've been feeling strange," she murmured, her lips curling at the edges. "Anxiety, sleepless nights, a kind of emptiness, I suppose. But I thought maybe you could help me. People say you're very gifted." She let her eyes linger on him, traveling shamelessly over the breadth of his chest, the strength in his forearms, the way his shirt clung just slightly to his muscular build. Most men flushed under such scrutiny. Most shifted uncomfortably, clearing their throats, their confidence unraveling thread by thread. But Dr. Jones only studied her with a quiet patience that bordered on unnerving. He set the chart down on the counter, clasped his hands behind his back, and regarded her with a gaze that was clinical yet piercing, the kind of gaze that felt like it was peeling back layers she had worked her entire life to perfect. "You've been feeling empty," he repeated, his voice low, resonant. "How long have you felt that way?" She blinked. This wasn't how it usually went. Normally by now they were fidgeting, smiling nervously, falling into her rhythm. She tried again. "Too long," she whispered, leaning forward just enough for her perfume, rich, floral, intoxicating, to drift across the narrow space between them. "Maybe I just need someone strong to take care of me." Her eyes locked onto his, pupils widening, her smile soft and inviting. It was a look that had dismantled countless men, a look that had set her traps in motion, pulling them willingly into her web. But Jones didn't flinch. His eyes remained steady, calculating, like the gaze of a chess master already 3 moves ahead. "You've tried this before?" he said calmly, almost as if thinking aloud. Her smile faltered for the briefest second, just long enough for him to notice. "You've sat in rooms like this," he continued, his voice measured, each word deliberate, "with other doctors, other professionals. You've tested them, you've pushed them, and many of them failed." The air in the room thickened. Vera's heart quickened, not from shame, but from excitement. He knew. He saw through her, and still he wasn't afraid. That made him different. That made him dangerous. "You think you know me," she whispered, her voice laced with a strange blend of admiration and menace. "But you don't. You couldn't." Her lips parted in a slow, knowing smile. Then she tilted her head, her eyes glittering with something between madness and triumph. "You won't resist me," she said, her voice dropping to a chilling whisper. "None of them ever did." Dr. Jones sat motionless as Vera whispered her venom. For a heartbeat, the silence between them felt alive, vibrating with something dangerous, inevitable. Vera's smile was sharp, triumphant, certain she had planted the first seed. But outside the exam room, down the hallway of Riverside, the shadows seemed to stir, as if the ghosts of the men she had already ruined were listening. The door clicked shut, sealing them in, and the question lingered like poison in the air. Would Dr. Jones be her next victim, or her final mistake? Would Dr. Jones succumb to her flatter and charm? Is Vera Donovan ready to turn a new leaf? What out for episode 2? Your comments are welcomed in the comments section.